Hi.
Hey! Welcome to another episode of Wicked Friggin' Heavy. We are here with Scootie and Louie of Pocket Knife.
Hi.
How's it going?
Hello, great.
So here we are. We're hanging out in Portland. So what kind of got you guys into just music in general? Where did it all start for you? We'll go with you first, Scootie.
I had really young parents. They were 22 when I was born, and both of them were just like figuring out who they were and what they wanted to do. And my mom was listening to like Blink-182, and my dad was listening to Green Day and Alice in Chains. And having a really young family just let me be able to indulge in their experiences more, and I got surrounded by all sorts of different kinds of music and was able to really figure out what moved me and what made me want to move in a way that I really appreciate, because I have so many different influences now that I just feel like a whole person rather than only sticking with one genre.
So when I was very young, I had an older brother who had a Metallica t-shirt from the Injustice for All tour, and it was this ratty black t-shirt with like a skull being held up by like its hair, and there was like a bloody hammer on the back. And before I even heard the music, I saw that t-shirt and I was like, whoa, what is this? This is like nothing else I've ever seen. And then a few years later, I bought the cassette tape for Injustice for All, and I just remember like putting the cassette in the tape deck and be like, Dad, how do they play so fast? Like, how do they do this? He's like, I don't know. Like, why are you asking me? So it set me on a path to, press those boundaries and do something unique and exciting and unexpected. So that kind of informed a lot of my listening choices growing up, and then like, getting into hardcore. I went the punk to hardcore pipeline with like, Bad Brains and, Cro-Mags. I got into Youth Crew stuff, and just like the fundamentals were like laid out for me. But like 90s hardcore, like where the fuck did that come from? like Quicksand. Right. I throw them on now. I'm like, this sounds like the 90s to me. Normie stuff like never appealed to me. I didn't get how people like could just be normal. Like I felt super disconnected from everybody. But when I found music and started playing music when I was young, like that, all of my friends, every single one of my friends comes from music. It comes from playing music, listening to music, going to shows. It's how I learned how to be a person.
Yeah, totally. So through those musical connections, that's how you gained the culture that surrounds you.
Exactly. It made it easy for me to connect with people because of these similar interests,
For sure.
Like without music, I don't know what I would be like, who I would talk to.
For sure. I feel the same way. What are your favorite genres outside of hardcore, do you think, that influences your music?
I don't know if it necessarily influences Pocket Knife, but I spent a lot of time in my like really, really younger years listening to R&B and hip hop, and that was like my main go-to thing. Like I have vivid memories of listening to Next on the radio and singing Too Close to my aunts who were in their teenage years, and them just being like, this is too adult for you, but also this is hilarious. And like listening to Doggy Style and all these other albums word of mouth, and I was just like, oh, this is the best thing that's ever happened. So maybe like lyrically with the way that they say things, I try to do that without trying to copy someone directly. But if all goes like to the shit, I always just go back to R&B and hip hop, and I'm like, oh, I feel safe and loved here. And then in my like preteen years, I got into Letters to Cleo and Veruca Salt, and that for songwriting for like girl groups specifically, I was like, oh, this is the best, actually, and I want to do something more like this. And then I started writing poetry, and I was like, oh, poetry can be anything, and it can say so much and it can say so little, and I want to make poetry music, which is how I write most of our lyrics. I write poems, and then I show them to the guys and I go, this is something, right? And then they play a riff and I'm like, this is something, and then it ends up being our songs.
So your process kind of starts with
Poetry. I went to a show at Happy Little House a couple of years ago and saw my friend's band Big Brute, and they were playing this melody, and whatever the melody was, I heard another song on top of it, and I went outside and I recorded the song and I wrote the lyrics to it because I heard it immediately, and then I showed it to one of my friends, and in my head it was like kind of a pop song, and then I showed it to him, and he actually kind of made it like a piano western Nick Cave style song. And it's all about Twin Peaks and Dale Cooper getting shot, and how it's like one of my favorite things, but it either strikes me immediately in a moment where I'm like, oh, I hear music on top of somebody else's music and I have to write this immediately, or like Wretch is a poem that I wrote about this kid who I was kind of talking to, not talking to, and when we were talking, he was like, oh, I thought that if you got to know me better, you would sleep with me. And I was like, that's kind of not how that fucking works, actually. I like, yeah, I get to choose to sleep with you if I want to, but like just knowing you isn't gonna just make me sleep with you. You're not entitled to my body or my time. So good fucking luck. And then I talked to a friend about it. He was like, write a poem. I wrote a poem, and then there was Wretch.
Okay, so it starts with poetry, and then you usually write the riffs, right? Do you write them alone?
I spend a lot of time, just messing around, thinking what I'm playing is like, it's whatever. But sometimes, I'll keep playing this thing, I'm like, oh, there's actually something here. And, I'll flesh it out. And then I can't just let something be simple. I need to like mess around with it, and I need to write it in like weird time signatures, do weird things, which is like much to the chagrin of our drummer, who like just wants me to play in 4/4 and I won't do it. So I tell him like, yo, dude, I'm bored of music, like I need to make this interesting. I need to have fun while doing this. So I'll usually like bring that to a practice. So that's one way, but another way is like our other guitarists will have something, and like the song Wretch, like Scootie already had those lyrics, and Josh, the other guitarist, had written this thing, and then when he brought it to practice, I felt bad because I kind of like took over the song structure. I added a lead that kind of changed the entire direction of the song. So like we came together and like it all melded in a way that wouldn't have happened otherwise, and I love those practices too, where we can like actually work on something together. But it's typically independent. Like the last couple songs, like we've written independently, and the other guitarist and I will get together and like kind of set in concrete like the structure, and like this is what the song should do, this is what it should feel like. So I want to be more collaborative, independently driven.
There's been lots of times where Lou has written like a riff, and I have written some lyrics but not everything, starting on whatever it is. And then when I lived in Manchester, Louis and I would sit in my living room and he would just play the riff, and I would listen to it and listen to it and listen to it, and then I'd be like, oh, I got it. And then I'd write down lyrics, we'd talk them through together, and then it would be whatever it was. And then sometimes we'd play them together as a band, and then I would go, oh, actually I want to change this one part, I think that this will make it smoother. And the more we practice it, I change certain words just based on how smooth they are to come out and how much they actually fit with the music itself.
So it's like each part informs the other.
One of my favorite things is during the songwriting process when we're getting together and we're finding out what fits. Like this happened a couple weeks ago where Alyssa, you had lyrics and you're like, I don't know how these fit over this song, and I'm like, all right, let me think about it. And then I went up and like took the exact lyrics and just like, oh, they should be here, here, and here, like sing it this way. And like there was just a second where everything clicked and we're like, this is good.
You're like, that's it.
Yeah,
Perfect.
This is good.
So what do you do when that moment happens? Do you just you go and you record it right off, or you're like, we got to save this?
Yeah, I record
in Logic, right? Is what you use? Or no.
It starts out in voice memos.
Yeah. Okay.
And because that's the easiest.
Right.
And then I've been like putting everything into Logic. I like, program the drums and everything. And then send it off to everybody in the band so that it's easier to like know what to do during practice.
Yep.
I have to record everything I do.
Yeah.
I have been lazy and I fooled myself thinking, oh, I'll remember. Oh, this is simple. I'll remember. But something's lost when you go back to it and you try to recreate it. Like something about the rhythm, like everything is just right in that moment, and that's why that moment stuck out to you. So record it.
That's a good way to do it. I totally feel that. Sometimes it'll just hit. Do you ever have it like where it's like you're just walking down the street and like a riff will just like hit in your head and or like, like some lyrics or something like that, like where you're just like, oh my God, there it is, and then you got to pull your phone out and just like
absolutely
record it like that. Is that how you do it usually? Yeah, just on a voice memo, and then you go back and you flesh it out.
There's been a couple of times where, like, I was driving with a friend and I hear a phrase in my head and I start writing it down, and then I've written, like, a good verse. And that happened when I was in the car with my boyfriend Ian, and that verse that I ended up writing out, the song probably won't be out by then, but I'm going to be featured on a Last Words song, and that
Sweet.
verse ended up being the verse that I do in the Last Words song that we're on called All Teeth, and it's one of my favorite things, and being able to record that with them after writing it in literally 5 seconds out of nowhere, I was just like, this is the best. I love doing this. And there's been a lot of times where like I wrote lyrics for a song that we haven't put out yet called Blow Up, and it's just about how like women are kind of treated like blow up dolls, and we're only here so you can fuck us and look at us, and that's basically it. And we are working on putting together music for that, but sometimes I'll just send the lyrics to which guitarist I think will run the most with it and just be like, hey, I really want you to do something with this, like let's see what we can do. And that's been the most fun too, is just being like, hey, I have an idea in my head. I personally don't know how to write music. I'm trying to learn bass, but I'm not a great learner. And this is what I kind of am looking for, but like you run with this as much as you can. And then like for our song Loud Loud, I sent lyrics out. I was just
going to ask about that.
Yeah.
Actually, Loud. Yeah, go on.
I sent lyrics out and I was like, what do you guys think of this? And then our other guitarist Josh like jokingly put it into AI and it made the song, and I was like, no, that's actually what I heard in my head. Like that's exactly what I heard.
So wait, did it write the lyrics for you?
No, I wrote the lyrics, but I don't know what he said to it. Like honestly, as an artist, I don't condone AI. I thought this was really funny, but like he put it in there and it literally shit out the song, and I was like, that's the song. That's literally what I had in my head. I just couldn't tell you what it sounded like.
Louis like, wait a second.
This is my first time hearing
I also
this.
wrote it.
No, this is literally my first time hearing that. But like Josh wrote that riff. I don't understand what AI had to do with it. I literally don't know where it came in. Like I know because during that time he was sending us like AI country songs for a laugh.
Oh yeah, those are the best.
Yeah,
I love AI.
Yeah, that's songs. Funny. Yeah, I had no idea. So yeah, Josh no longer gets a credit on that song. Right.
Perfect. Loud. So where did those lyrics come from? What is it about?
We were sitting in the basement of our drummer Alex's house, and we were fucking around at practice, and sometimes when they're running with riffs and seeing if they can write music, I'll just sit there and write lyrics to whatever they're writing or something else that I've heard on top of it. And I don't remember exactly what happened, but there was some riff that Josh played and I heard loud, 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 fast, 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 and I was like, I can write something with this. And then it's kind of the same thing, like it's almost from a male perspective. I can't super write from a male perspective. I'm not a dude. I don't know. But like, it's basically just like, I don't want to know what you're saying. I just want the music to be loud and fast, and I don't give a shit who's putting it out there, but I certainly don't like a girl is doing it. And I, love being a girl, just being like, oh yeah, I know you don't like the way I'm putting out music, but guess what? Fuck you.
Yeah.
It's my favorite part, and you're gonna enjoy it, and you know what people do, and that's the craziest part.
Yeah, that was like the first song that we had like kind of got together and wrote organically, because the first song was written by the drummer, and he like did a rough recording of it, and then like our very first practice was when we recorded Brain Rot. So like we didn't even like know the song yet. We're just like, all right, we're just gonna train record, we're gonna record it. But Loud, like to me that was like a special moment, because loud, fast, it felt like a mission statement, yeah. Like, all right, yeah, this is what this band is going to be. Like, I love this. It just felt right.
Yeah, and with Brain Rot too, like when Louis says it was literally our first practice as a full band together with Mark. We wrote Loud and we were there recording it. I was there with Alex recording it until like 2:30 in the morning. And we put it out. Alex mastered it. We put it out, and it was probably one of my favorite things that we've ever done. I lost my voice. I couldn't talk, but I did 3 or 4 different vocal recordings, and we just layered the shit out of them. And it was a crazy experience, but a super bonding one, because I realized, like, I love performing. I used to do acting in middle school and high school on stage and plays and stuff, but like doing this is something that I've always wanted to do. I just can't. I don't know how to play guitar. I don't know how to play bass, but I want to perform, and I love being on stage and doing the damn thing. So being able to do it with that, like with this band in that way, after writing a song in basically, a few hours. Like I wrote the lyrics to Brain Rot while I was playing Sims, and I learned I played it like maybe 30 or more times just on repeat until I heard the lyrics, and I was like, okay, cool, I got this, and sent a really shitty rough recording of the lyrics to the guys while I was in my friend's bathroom. And then it turned into the first thing we recorded together, and it was one of my favorite things we've ever done. I love all of our music, but like being able to just be there in Alex's living room and record everything was a crazy experience.
Yeah, I love that night that we recorded that, because you just coming onto the band, like the band just forming, you not being entirely confident with like what you could pull out of yourself to like suit the genre, and seeing you get more comfortable and really like nailing it and being an incredible vocalist. It's I don't know, it's what I do this for. Like, you didn't think you could do it, and it turns out like you got it. You got this. And I love it. Yeah,
I thought I was going to be like a Taylor Swift type in middle school, and and now I'm the front man of fucking Pocket Knife, and I love it so much, and I yell so deep, and we recorded an EP with Ryan Stinson, and in some of the recordings I sent it to a friend, and they're like, oh, so who's doing vocals with you on this track? And I was like, no, that's just me. And they're like, that's the fucking craziest thing I've ever heard. I didn't know your register can go that deep. And I was like, honestly, dude, me fucking neither.
Yeah, you just pull out this like low, visceral, like guttural growl, and I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's female rage.
It's so sick. Yeah, it's so sick. I read something online from when you did the festival at Plymouth State with a bunch of those hardcore bands, and you were saying how proud you are to be fronting a hardcore group.
Yeah.
Right? You want to talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. So like Louis and I were in another band together called Big Zipper, and that one had like a weird genre bend. It was beautiful, and I did some yelling and some singing, but it was not 100%. And when Alex said that he wanted to start a hardcore band and he wanted to do it female fronted, I obviously jumped on it and was like, yeah, absolutely, I want to do that, because I love yelling. But I also think that there is a huge opportunity for women's voices to be heard, femme voices to be heard in general, and that the hardcore scene specifically, in my outside opinion, has always been pretty decent at trying to stifle it unless they decide that they want to accept it. So being able to kind of force my way into it and be able to say like, no, fuck you, you're going to listen to what I have to say. It doesn't matter if it doesn't suit you. It doesn't matter if it's not your experience. Fuck you, you're going to have to listen to what I have to say. And I love doing that. If if anything, I think more girls should make bands, more femmes should do bands, whatever. But like, get into a genre that you don't necessarily feel like you represent, but one that you feel like you can do, and just fucking do it. Even if it ends up being that you change into something else later on, or you end up doing something else, like, do that, but try whatever you want to. Otherwise, I absolutely would not have tried hardcore. I would have stuck with something that I felt suited me much better, and instead I realized that hardcore does suit me, and I get to show up and be there for girls who come to our shows, or people who don't necessarily know us but end up at the venue anyway. Like when we played with Gumscab at Blue, this lady walked up to me and she was like, you know, I don't really like this music. I'm here with some friends who do like this music, but like I really like what you have to say, so you're always going to have a fan in me because I like what you stand for and I like what you have to say. And that's where I am. And I'm screaming it.
To the masses,
yeah.
You know? Like, that's so powerful.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. If you're going to say it fucking loud. Don't whisper. If you're going to say it as loud as you fucking can. Make your voice heard. Doesn't matter what the consequences are. You know, if you say something, say it with your whole fucking chest. Say it with your whole fucking chest. Otherwise, what's the point?
Right. Exactly. 100%. You want to make any shout outs to any like femme fronted bands out of New England?
So this isn't a New England band, but Squelch is fucking cool. Burly Girlies, love the fucking Burly Girlies from Vermont. Love Retract. Retract is so fucking cool. We got to play with them. We got to play with Condition. I really, really liked playing with them. Otherwise, my brain is kind of shitting itself and I can't like 100% remember people, but it's one of those things where like when I see them, I'm just like, oh my God, you're the coolest. You're so fucking sick.
Yeah,
Please
I
keep
think that's
doing
awesome.
this.
New England needs to see more of that, I would say.
Ooh,
for sure.
Yeah, Loss of Life here in
Yeah.
Portland is fucking sick. I love Agdalen. Aggie is
Yeah,
fucking
Agdalen's
so sick. Go see Loss of Life if you get an opportunity to. Aggie's fucking sick. I don't actually know where Wisdom and War is from, but Wisdom and War
Wisdom
too.
and War,
We
I
love
think, is
Chanel.
from Central Mass.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, they're super fucking cool. I love them a lot.
Yeah. Me too. They're great. Start bands. Let's go.
Yeah, start a fucking band. Do the goddamn thing. If you're not gonna do something that fills your cup, then what are you doing? You're living an empty life. Stop living an empty life. Do the thing that's scary. Do the thing that makes you want to piss your pants. Do the thing that you feel like you can do if there wasn't something in your way. Pretend there isn't. Pretend there's nothing in your way and just do the fucking thing. Try it out. Give it a shot. If you constantly stop yourself, then you're never going to have the experiences that you want to have, and you're never going to be able to be the person that you want to be when you stop yourself from having these experiences. Don't short yourself. Life is too small. Life is so small. Stop. Do the thing. Fuck.
Heard
Not
chef.
fuck, but like also fuck. Do your damn thing.
Heard
chef.
The best. Let's talk a little bit about how you guys come up with names. One of the things I want to talk about is this sick merch here, this pocket knife merch that I'm wearing that says 2 stabs for flinching. Where did that come from?
It was one of those things where we were at practice and we were fucking around, and obviously there's the 2 punches for flinching or whatever, and because we're pocket knife, I was like, oh no, it's 2 stabs for flinching. Like, you flinch once, I'm gonna stab you twice.
Yeah.
Like, that just makes sense. And then the image on this lovely shirt is the ending of Death Proof, where the 3 female protagonists just beat the absolute fucking shit out of Kurt, and it's my favorite. My favorite image is just 3 absolutely gorgeous women just beating the fuck out of a man to death, and I think that's incredible.
Hell yeah.
And then other than that, we fuck around at practice. We make jokes with one another. Like, Alex used to text us all the time about how there was 2-for-1 Whoppers at Burger King on Wednesdays, and he just randomly texted us one time and saying they're putting tariffs on the Whoppers, and like that's a song title that we wrote down as like a thing maybe someday. And otherwise it's just like a bunch of fuck around stuff. There's a couple that I've written down that have been our favorites so far, but I don't want to like give too much away because I don't want someone else to name anything. But like, we did like the 100 gex, 1,000 gex, like 100 knives, 1,000 knives, just
Sick.
writing it down just to be silly. Eventually it'll be something, or maybe it won't. But you gotta write titles down when you find them. Gotta write titles down when you find them. Otherwise, you're never gonna remember. You gotta do it.
Yeah. Write them down.
Yeah. No, my favorite thing, I've like made it a game out of like, all right, find the song title in this conversation. And like somebody will say something ridiculous like, that's a song title, write it down.
That's it.
Yep, that's it. So yeah, I have just like notes of just like the most ridiculous, like out of context song titles that I don't even remember the origin of. But
so me and Louie would drive to band practice together sometimes, and we would have therapeutic conversations. In one of our conversations, I said to Louie, I'm just a stupid monkey and somebody's gonna have to teach me. And he's like, that's a song line somewhere, I don't know where that goes, but that's absolutely something. And I'm like, it is something, and I'm gonna write it down, but I don't know where this is gonna fit in any of our music. It just, I am a stupid monkey and somebody's gonna have to teach me. That's just how it fucking goes.
What would you say to your younger self, do you think, when you were first starting?
This isn't where we thought we were gonna be, but doesn't it feel so fucking good? Doesn't this like suit us a lot better? Because like I was always the kid who was more outspoken anyway. I would get into like fist fights and defend other people and stick up for other people and absolutely put myself in harm's way if that meant that somebody else was going to be safe. So me doing this, it feels almost like doing that, being a human shield, but also being able to inspire other people. And I think that part of me, specifically like middle school me, who is always just like, I am who I am, you're not going to tell me otherwise, you're not going to tell me who I am, I know what I'm doing and what's going on, so fuck you if you think that you can make me change me in a way that I don't want to and that isn't going to be good for me. I think she'd be really fucking proud of me. I think she'd be like, I that's exactly what I wanted. Actually, I have a little sister who is 18 and she tells her friends all the time how cool I am, and I'm like, yeah, actually that's exactly what I wanted. If my little sister thinks I'm cool, then I must be fucking cool.
Hell yeah. Why do you think heavy music is important in society today?
There's always going to be fringe something. There has to be a counterculture to whatever the culture is, and I personally feel like our culture is very soft right now and very complacent, and the problem with having a complacent culture is that nothing gets done and we move backwards.
Heavy music shatters stagnancy, I think.
I think heavy music shatters stagnancy. Absolutely.
Say that 5 times.
Heavy music shatters stagnancy. 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 I think that there's a call to action when you can feel music in your chest. I think that there is a movement that makes you want to do something when you can physically feel how the music is affecting you. And things that are soft can, do that too. There's been a lot of music that has literally made my hair stand on end and I've cried, but like the way that heavy music fills my entire chest with bass and just a fullness I can't really describe is the reason I love doing it so much and I enjoy myself at these shows. Otherwise, why not have something fill you like that? There's nothing that's similar to it. The other part is like, you gotta be tougher. Everything's, if it's too soft, you never figure out how to be tough. If you don't accidentally get punched in the face at a show or accidentally get a beer dumped on you at a show, you don't know what those experiences are like. And then you're just like, oh man, I've gone my whole life without ever getting hit in the face. And that's sad. That's a sad existence.
Yeah, for me, heavy music, abrasive music, it is so like subversive and visceral, and it takes that feeling welling up inside of you, and it's an outlet for that, and I think that's very powerful. I feel like, letting out all the feelings that are tangled up in you in just top of your lungs, like full force. There's something like powerful about that where it's like, that's exactly what you want. You hear a line that you love and you want to scream at the top of your lungs, and you get to do that. And for me, like being able to express that and get that out of me is a remedy for hopelessness, because it's so easy to be hopeless, and making music like this reminds me, like, I've got a voice with my music. I've got a voice that is impactful and powerful, and I need it.
Yeah, it wakes you up. I think Evie from Fish Face said, I really liked what she said, which was,
I feel like it's a reality check. You know what I mean? Like, heavy music is like the reality check you need to be like grounded, you know what I mean? And not even necessarily that too, it's just like about expression.
like, wake up, it's, you can resist, you can stand up for what you actually believe in,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you've ever been like a person who's wanted to scream when something bad happens, then you already are part of heavy music, whether you wanted to be or not. Maybe that's not where you thought you would be, but you're right there.
Yeah.
There's a lyric that I wrote somewhat recently that, again, is not part of a song. It's just like a line, and the line is, "I'm gonna shave my head, it's the stress you put me under." And like, imagine yelling that. Imagine, if you will, yelling that at the top of your lungs. "I'm gonna shave my head, it's the stress you put me under." Like, it feels good.
Yeah.
It feels great. Hearing it makes you laugh, but it feels so good to say it, because everyone knows what that feels like. Unless you already have a shaved head, then you probably maybe knew what it feels like one time.
Right.
But like, if you have hair, you know what it feels like to be like, "I'm gonna shave my head, everything is so goddamn stressful."
So you're gonna get rid of it. Yeah.
There's too much happening right now. I have to shave
Yeah.
my head.
It's perfect. Do you have any upcoming shows or EPs or music or anything that you want to talk about?
Yeah, we have the 2 Steps for Flinching EP, which should be coming out soon. We're just waiting for the masters to come back. We have some shows coming up, but they're not completely solidified yet, so I don't super feel comfortable just like shouting them out.
Yep.
But we are very lucky that a lot of the bands that we've gotten to play with, especially in the last year, because we've only been a band for a year, have been really kind in getting us on other gigs that they really want us on, and putting our name out there. Like, Alchemy, we played a show with Alchemy, Low Tide, and oh gosh, I forgot the other band. I feel so bad. But when we played the press room show, but we were thrown on last minute, and we saw the band chat, which was just like, "Hey, how would you guys feel about throwing Pocket Knife on this?" And everyone's like, "Yeah!" And I was like, "Oh, it feels so nice that everyone's like, yeah, we want Pocket Knife," instead of them just being like, "Fuck no, we don't want to deal with that shit." But like, we would love to do more. We love playing music. We love doing this shit together. We love meeting new people and being able to actually like enjoy and see what other people are coming up with, because when you only create music that you want to create, you get stuck in a vacuum. So the more you can introduce yourself to other people's ideas, the better off you are. And that's been incredible. I just love playing shows, love getting on stage and doing this with the guys, love putting holes in things.
The best.
Just breaking shit at events. Just having a nice old time.
We just had like a super active period, and now we have like a slowdown period, so
Yep.
It's kind of nice.
And 2 of our bandmates are dads, so it's going to be good for them, especially around like Halloween, to be able to go trick-or-treating with their kids.
Yeah, totally.
And obviously it's just been like vacation time, so everyone wants to actually hang out at the end of summer with their family instead of just being like, "Yeah, I gotta go play another show for a couple hours with a 6-band bill and sweat the whole time and sell merch." Like, everyone wants to hang out with their family at the end of the summer. I don't blame them. It's
Totally.
fair season. It's fair
Yeah,
season.
fair season. Come on, like the best season in Maine.
Yeah.
Gotta
go to the sandwich fair? Something like that.
Sandwich fair.
So is that,
Yeah,
I
I'd be
think
down
there's
for a sandwich fair. Are you kidding me?
Did I make
And a
that
bunch
up?
of sandwiches.
We got Rubens, BB&J's. It's amazing.
I love a good unusual Reuben.
Album name, Sandwich Fair.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Also, some of our song names, which I know that this is way later now, but now that we say that, some of our song names were names that I put as my display name on Twitter when Twitter was still Twitter, and they just turned into song titles instead, and it was the absolute fucking best. I loved it so much.
It's so good.
Life is so good.
Yeah.
Say
so
the weird
good.
thing. Write it down. Hold on to it.
Say it.
Say it. Say it.
Weird thing.
Say it. Andy Marie Tillman, or whatever the fuck her name is, on Instagram has that video that just says, "Say the weird thing." And you know what? She's right. Say the weird thing. Write it down. have somebody else enjoy it. It's fun. It's a fun thing to do. Someone will laugh.
Perfect. Louis, any wise parting words before we go?
I don't know.
Perfect.
Write poetry. Even if it doesn't become anything, write poetry. Even if it doesn't have a rhyme scheme or it doesn't fit into whatever the fuck you're doing, write something down. Even a regular song or like a regular little tidbit can be a song or something else. There's been so many times where I've written poetry and we've cannibalized it and made it into music. So like you can do whatever you want, but use any outlet you have to be creative, because otherwise you're robbing yourself.
Yeah, and make art. The world needs more of it, you know?
And even if you think it's shitty, like, you need to write the shitty songs. You need to write the shitty poems. Start something and finish it. Put it behind you. Just get it out of you. And then before you know it, you'll be taken by surprise with something you're doing. And you're like, oh, shit, this is actually something. Yep. So just keep going.
And if it's really hard, I think do it every day.
Yeah.
Just do it more if it's really hard.
Absolutely, yeah.
If it makes you feel really uncomfortable, it's like, time to do it, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, you know, like being part of this band, like find people that you love and are, you know, collaborative with, and they will help you through any hardships you have with your art. Like it's a beautiful thing.
It's the best.
Find people you trust. You love them, you trust them, make art with them. Even if it doesn't end up being something that you share with other people, make art with people that you care about, because that ends up being something to you and isn't that beautiful in any case.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you very much, Louis and Scootie.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thanks. This was awesome.
Thanks for watching Wicked Friggin' Heavy. See you next time.
Don't you dare